folks, thank you for tuning in into RT-Import, Royal Tiger Imports. I'm Uli, this is Shaw. Today we want to show you what we just received. So we are proud to present the largest Italian firearms collection available. So we have every individual military Italian firearm whichever was introduced into military service in Italy up to 1945. So we have, starting with the Vetterli, the 6.5, we have the 10 point, what is it?
10.4.
10.4. We have the early short rifle, we have the production short rifle, we have the TS first model, TS second model. We do have, tell us all about the different guns.
Sure. Well, like Uli said, we have just about everything. So we have, not shown here as well, but we have 91 Carcano long rifles. We have the 91-24 converted carbines from the rifles, 91 cavalry carbines of various different makes, manufacturers, years, you name it. There's just an incredibly wide variety available.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And these rifles out of Ethiopia, they're all in original condition, and Shaw will show you later on all the details, but they are fairly nice. They just need to be cleaned up, and they're beautiful original finish. And we have hand select option available too on these items. But again, this is just a little show and tell to show you what we have. And we're working also now on getting some of the bodeos fixed and repaired. Since we have some Modeos in the back, but again, they need some parts, and we have these parts manufactured right now. We have the accessories like the reproduction slings, and we have the original brass clips back in stock. So all in all the Italian firearms, basically, which were introduced into the service up to 1945, are available here at Royal Tiger Imports. Is there anything else to say?
Well, in just a moment, I'll give a close-up of everything, but in the meantime, it's just really incredible to see all this variety.
So, yeah, we're actually very proud of it. If you guys like, World War II, before World War II, World War I, whatever, so we have any time period firearm.
Pretty incredible.
Awesome. Thanks for watching. God bless, and God bless America.
All right, folks, let's take a closer look at these Carcanos. Starting at the bottom, you can see this is a standard 91 cavalry carbine with the underfolding bayonet. This particular one came out of the batch from Italy, along with plenty of others. You can see this is a World War I dated Brescia example. And while we're here, we can show that we have our nice new reproduction Carcano slings. These are made out of real leather and have real brass studs as well as the buckles. Pretty nice. And here we have a Bodeo revolver. This is an M1889 Bodeo revolver. This particular one was manufactured in 1917. We have Bodeos that were manufactured during World War I. We have a few antiques. And we also have some that were manufactured in the 1930s up until about 1935. We also have original clips. We have the brass M-block clips, and we have reproduction brand new steel M-block clips. And the steel ones do feature original proper markings on these. Moving on, we have a TS second model out of Ethiopia. And we have another TS second model just above it. You can tell this is a TS second model due to its shorter rear sight assembly, while still having this configuration front end. You can see that this has a straight bayonet lug and does not have a undershield similar to this TS first model shown above with a transverse locking bayonet. You can also see this is a 91-24 right here, and you can tell there's a 91-24 right off the bat because it is a carbine length but has a full length rifle rear sight. Of course, we have another 91-24 just above it. And as I mentioned previously, we have many of the TS first models that came out of Ethiopia as well. The vast majority of these do have the transverse locking bayonet lug, although we have seen some with the straightforward locking lug. And you can see this particular one is a 1908. Many of these TS first models are pre-World War I and World War I dated. Moving on, we have a Model 38 short rifle. But what's interesting about this particular one, you can see that the stock is slightly different from most standard short rifles. This is because this is an earlier model that was used in the lighter amount of production that they did originally. And then later on, they moved to this more recognizable wood stock assembly. You can see that this one has this different front band as well as the lug assembly. It has this middle barrel band with a upper handguard that is much shorter. However, both have the fixed rear sight. That was a major improvement that the Italians did. They decided that the production time wasn't really worth it to have an adjustable rear sight when much of modern combat during that time was taking place at 300 yards or meters in their case or less. So they went with a fixed rear sight and they marked the caliber on top. The vast majority of these that we have are in Cal 735. And it's also important to note that none of these are finish marked with the SA in a box like many of the other Model 38s that are currently available in the US. And moving on, we have a factory carbine 7087 Vetterli. This would be in the 10-4 black powder cartridge with a 4-shot magazine. And then we have the later model, which is a Vetterli 1870/87/15 chambered in 6.5 Carcano, feeding from the 6-round M-block clip. And finally, we have the 1891 long rifle. Again, you can see that 91 long rifle rear sight. And what's interesting about this particular one is that this has this particular marking on the side of the receiver, or the barrel shank, and you can see that it says AZF. That particular marking means that it was captured by the Germans at some point and marked as their own property. So really quite neat. Again, you see just a little bit of everything in this batch. Thank you very much for watching. God bless.